Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Diana Fatim Jeffrey. My ID number is 2025184869. My topic is language mediation in multilingual customer service, challenges and strategies. Okay, let's go to the background of the study. Okay, for this topic, it's about frontline customer service. Employees, they are the first point of contact between customers and the organization. This means that they are usually the first people customers approach when they need help, whether it is for inquiries, complaints, or general service support. Their main responsibilities mostly on handling customer requests, solving service-related problems, and providing immediate assistance in real time. Because of this, they play a very important role in shaping the customer's overall experience across different sectors such as hospitality, retail, aviation, telecommunications, where direct interaction with the customers happens frequently. According to Strategy et al. In the year 2021, frontline employees they play a very crucial role in influencing customer satisfaction and shaping the brand perception since they represent their organization directly during their service interactions. And in today's globalized environment, we could see that their role has become even more complex because they often work in multilingual and high pressure situations where the customers may speak different languages and expect fast response at the same time. To manage these challenges, frontline employees usually they develop and use different communication strategies such as nonverbal communication, gesture, facial expression, even switch languages depending on the customer. However, as highlighted by Rallyware, even with these strategies, they still face significant difficulties because it include the time pressure due to high customer volume. They have like emotional exhaustion from continuous interaction, communication barrier caused by the cultural and language differences. Because of this, the academic literature refers to these as situations as multilingual service encounter, which have now become a normal and unavoidable part of customer service worldwide. Okay, moving on to the problem statement. Okay, ideally in this era, frontline customer service relies on seamless communication in order to have ensure customer satisfaction and also long-term loyalty. However, in multilingual service environment, the communication breakdowns remain a persistent issue because according to Fluency Corp, language barriers frequently disrupt interactions and reduce the service efficiency in frontline settings. As a result, the frontline employees often take on the informal role as language mediators. At the same time, organizational expect some strict time targets and also performance efficiency. So it intensify these difficulties because it increases the emotional labor, slows down the service interactions, and in this context, we could say that frontline employees are performing what can be described as hidden translation. Okay, even though these issues have been widely discussed in literature, but most existing studies focus on the customer perspectives or even they use quantitative service outcomes rather than the employees themselves. According to Bailon and Ferrer in the year 2025, frontline employees are often treated as an invisible variable in service research despite being central to communication success. Therefore, the key research gap is that there are still limited qualitative research exploring the frontline employees' life experiences. In particular, there is a lack of studies examining how they navigate communication barriers, the strategies they develop in real time, and how they make sense of their role as informal language mediators, as highlighted by previous studies. Sumro in the year of 2024. And this study addresses the gap by exploring the life experiences of frontline customer service employees involved in language mediation in multilingual service encounters and focus more on the challenges, coping strategies, and perceptions of their mediating roles. Okay, moving on to the research objectives. Okay, basically these are the research objectives to explore communication challenges faced by frontline customer service, different language mediation strategies used by frontline customer service, and to examine frontline customer service employees' perceptions of their mediating role. Okay, moving on to the significance of the study. It provides four main levels: theoretical, organizational, individual, and community. Okay, from a theoretical perspective, this study contributes to the existing literature on multilingual communication and language mediation by extending the understanding of mediation beyond formal interpreting roles. From a organizational perspective, the findings of the study may help organizations better understand about the language-related challenges faced by the frontline employees, and it can guide the development of more effective communication training and also multilingual support system. At the individual level, the study highlights the often overlooked the language mediation work performed by frontline employees. and to increase awareness of the emotional, cognitive, and also communicative demands associated with their roles. Finally, at the community level, this study contributes to a better understanding of a communication in multilingual and multicultural society because by identifying an effective language mediation practice, it can help reduce the communication barrier and improve the service accessibility and promote more inclusive interactions between the service providers and the customer. Okay, scope of study. This study focus specifically on frontline customer service employees because they are the individuals who interact directly with the customers and frequently experience multilingual communication in their daily work. It explores three specific aspects: the communication challenges employees encounter and the language mediation strategies they use and how they perceive their role as informal language mediators. So basically, this study focused more on the strategies such as code switching, translation, because these are the common use during multilingual service encounters. A purposive sample of three frontline customer service employees is selected because this is a phenomenological study. The aim is not to generalize findings to a large population, but to obtain rich and detailed accounts from participants who have direct experience with the phenomenon. The study is also limited to Selangor and Kuala Lumpur because these states have highly multilingual and multicultural populations. And as major commercial and business hubs in Malaysia, they provide frequent opportunity for frontline employees to engage in multilingual customer interactions. So it make them appropriate settings for this research. Finally, the data will be collected using through semi-structured interviews as this method allows participants to describe their experiences in depth. This study is underpinned by five related concepts, which together explain the phenomenon of language mediation in multilingual customer service settings. The first concept is the multilingual customer service landscape, which serves as the context of the study. Due to globalization and increasing cultural diversity, the frontline employees regularly interact with customers from different linguistic and cultural backgrounds. Within this environment, language barriers become a common communication challenge. So these barriers are not limited to differences in vocabulary or grammar, but also include in the socio-linguistic aspects such as accents, cultural expectations, and communication styles. These barriers directly related to my first research objective, which explores the communication challenges faced by the frontline employees. To overcome these challenges, the employees need to engage in a language mediation rather than relying on formal interpreting. So they need to use informal strategies such as code switching, translanguaging, gesture, digital translation tools. And this concept really supports the second research objectives because they focuses more on the language mediation strategies used during multilingual customer interactions. The third concept is the emotional and cognitive labor because it performing language mediation requires employees to do more than translate information. They need to think quickly, adapt their communication, solve problems, and at the same time, they need to remain patient and professional during customer interaction. This combined mental and also emotional demands, they really help to explain the life experience of frontline employees. The final concept is the role perception and identity in service work because frontline employees they often perform communication responsibilities beyond their formal job descriptions by acting as informal language mediators. And as a result, they may develop different perceptions of their role depending on how they balance the organizational expectations with customers' communication needs. This concept directly supports my third research objective, which examines how the frontline employees perceive and also make sense of their mediating role in multilingual customer interactions. Okay, I would say overall, these five concepts are interconnected. So the multilingual customer service landscape creates a language barriers which require employees to perform language mediation. And when we need to perform mediation, it involves emotional and cognitive labor. And these experiences really shape how employees perceive their role as informal language mediators. Together, these concepts provide the conceptual foundation for this study. Okay, next, theoretical framework. This study is guided by an integrated theoretical framework consisting of three complementary theories. The first is communication accommodation theory, which explains how individuals adjust their communication behaviors during interaction. In this study, it helps explain how the frontline customer service employees modify their language and also communication strategies when interacting with multilingual customers, particularly through processes such as convergence and divergence. The second theory is interactional sociolinguistics, which focuses on how meaning is constructed during interaction through contextualization cues such as tone, gesture, pauses, code switching. And this theory is really important in explaining how communication misunderstandings occur and how meaning is negotiated during multilingual customer service encounters. The third theory is descriptive phenomenology, which provides the lens for understanding participants' life experiences. Unlike the other two theories, phenomenology focuses on how frontline employees perceive, interpret, and make sense of their experiences as informal language mediators. For all these three theories, they provide a multi-layered framework for the study, such communication accommodation theory explains communicative behavior, interactional sociolinguistics explain interactional meaning making, and descriptive phenomenology explains the life experience and perception. All of it combined, they allow the study to further explore communication challenges, mediation strategies, and employees' perceptions of their mediating role in multilingual customer service contexts. Next, research methodology. This study adopts a qualitative research methodology to explore the life experiences of frontline customer service employees involved in multilingual interactions. The research design is a qualitative phenomenological approach which is appropriate because it allows for an in-depth exploration of participants' life experiences. Semi-structured interviews are used in this research study to provide both structure and flexibility, enabling the participants to describe their own experiences in their own words. And then the participants are three frontline customer service employees from corporate and retail sectors located in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. Criterion purposes sampling is also being used to ensure that participants have direct experience in multilingual customer interactions. Moreover, a sample of three participants is selected because phenomenological research prioritizes the depth of experiences rather than the large sample size. And I would say that the main research instrument is a semi-structured interview guide aligned with the theoretical framework because the researcher acts as the primary instrument in the data collection using the phenomenological bracketing to minimize bias, and also the interviews are conducted via Zoom, recorded, transcribed using Turbo Subscribe AI, and organized using NVivo 14 and analyzed. For data analysis, thematic analysis is conducted using NVivo 14, and the data is coded through coding and categorized into themes while also applying the deductive coding based on communication and accommodation theory, and also the interactional sociolinguistics. And this allows the study to identify the communication strategies such as convergence, divergence, and also the meaning negotiation and multilingual interactions. Finally, trustworthiness is ensured using Lincoln and Cuba's framework because credibility is achieved through members checking and peer debriefing, transparency through tick description, dependability through an audit trail in Envivo, and confirmability through reflexive journaling and documentation of all research decisions. Okay, so these are my references for the study, and that's all from me. Thank you.